Hey guys. Let's see. I feel like I turned the music down too much. There we go. All right. So I am doing the community read using the Dreamscape Oracle. Regular readings are going to be with the Ethereal Visions Luna edition here. And if you would like an extended reading or to ask multiple questions, you can use my tip link in the description. So let's see what kind of energy we have around us as a community. So as I shuffle the cards, just focus on the day. Our first one here is the Harpy Eagle. I feel like I got this yesterday. This was part of my monthly challenge that I'm doing over on my Discord yesterday. So let's see what it says for the Harpy Eagle, because of course I forgot. The Harpy Eagle looks like a hippogriff from Harry Potter. So it says that Harpy Eagles are a sign that you need to change something in your life. They represent your strength and none of your weakness. So I feel like this is saying, as a community, what strengths can you tap into in order to make the changes that you currently need or currently desire in your life. It says, when it appears, heed the message and take a good look at what is out of balance. Ooh, are you where you want to be emotionally, physically, financially? And now is the time to envision where you want to be and who you want in your life. So I think, as a community, what changes need to be made in our lives, and how can you tap into those strengths in order to do that? Let's see. This is the gate. I actually, because of the way this card looks, I thought it was one of the tarot cards that accidentally got like slid in there or something. It looks very much like the tarot cards, which you'll see in a second. Let's see here what it says for the gate. It looks very much like the artist card, I think it reminds me of. So the gate says, they have the gift of opening the small tear in the fabric of the world's material at will. The woman at the gate steps towards the rip, and her fingers find the edges of the gate. Ooh, okay. I like how this describes everything. So this is saying to look deeper into a situation, what lies on the other side, and just step through. I think this has a lot to do with the changes that we see in this Harpy Eagle. So where this card is saying, like, you need to reflect on what changes need to be made in one's life, this one is saying, once you once you recognize that there needs to be changes, what will they look like? What will things look like after you make those changes? And I like how this person is there at the precipice of this gate, because this is saying you have the control to step through that when you are ready. So let's do one last card, and then we will get into look what showed up. So I a lot of my energy is in this. So I got this card yesterday, and I got this card today for a reading I did with my friend. The owl is really wise and spiritually, generally very intuitive and aware of the different paths that are available to us and which ones perhaps better serve you and you should walk down. In the guidebook, it mentions that the owl has the ability to look through time, and you take that to not literally, but more so to see how the past and present will affect the future. And I think that this is saying, all leading towards like the idea of visualizing what you want your future to look like. I feel like there's room for a lot of manifestation going on here. And ultimately, there's this wisdom that comes with owls, along with the intuitive. Yeah, it should be. The queue is open. Try again, Steph. If not, I'll close it and reopen it and see if maybe it's just being a butt. Oh, hold on. There we go. Should work now. Um, the sometimes the cloud bot will just shut itself down for some reason. It'll toggle itself off. So it did that. My bad. But yeah, I think that the theme I would say for our community read is change and taking that control to step into those changes that are coming up. There we go. Yes, we got it. So yeah, if you would like to join, use exclamation point join just like this, and you will get added to the queue. So I'm going to go ahead and put that off to the side. Steph, you are the only one in the queue right now, so go ahead and let me know your question. And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and get this deck all warmed up, although I did use it earlier. Bronwyn, I'm glad. I hope those changes are easy to achieve for you. Ooh, okay. Let's see, what changes should you make to better your future? Let's see what those changes are, Steph. One more card. Okay. So this is okay. That is a specialty card. So I'm gonna have to like pull out the little guidebook for that. Alrighty. So Steph, you have the Fool in reverse and you have Death in reverse, which is ironic because you're asking about what changes you need to make. And then you have the Artist, which is a specialty card. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with that because I'm gonna look that one up. And then we'll talk about the other ones. Let's see. Here we go. So when the artist is a card of creation similar to, I would say it kind of has like a interesting combination of like judgment and the world in it, but then there's this air of like creativity as well. So my camera is a little janky. One second, guys. Okay. So when this card pops up, I think that one of the main changes that you're looking for is how you are handling your own creativity, your own visions, and basically how you are putting those things into the world. So here we have the Fool card in reverse. When the Fool card in reverse pops up, this is saying like maybe you're going through a phase of like constantly starting new things. You're not giving things a chance to actually mature and grow into something. Uh, I know a lot of times I have this issue too sometimes where I'll start a lot of things, but I don't actually like follow through with a lot of things. And when the Fool in reverse pops up, it's like saying, hey, you're being a little careless about where you are spending your time. Perhaps stop creating new things and focus on the things that you already have going or the plans that you have already made. Um, and just be careful about falling into that cycle, because what ends up happening is we have the death in reverse. That means you're kind of always in this same state, because the death card is usually really not cool in terms of stuff like this, because it invites this period of transformation and growth, and just things are changing and morphing and evolving into new things. But in reverse, things are very stagnant, and there's also an element of resistance to change. And I don't think that it's in your case, just because I know you and I can probably dive a little deeper into this. I don't think it's a resistance to change. I think that this is a resistance to um taking the steps to grow something, because you're afraid of how it will go. But the artist reminds us that, art is subjective, it's creative, it's about putting that creativity and that passion behind things. It's not about this cycle of just stagnancy where you're working so hard to just make something perfect. So just keep that in mind. I will say too, with this death in reverse, it's not the end of the world. There's still a slight hint of movement, but you have to really flip that energy around. Start to take some steps to move forward. So as I'm talking about this, I'm sure things are popping into your mind. What actions can you take out of this, right? So I know a big one is your YouTube channel that you've been thinking about. You've kind of put a lot of thought and creativity behind it, but you haven't put any action behind it. A lot of times, especially with this Fool in reverse, you are kind of always in this brainstorming phase where, like I said, these new ideas that keep popping up, but you need to pick one and follow through with it. Just for example, for that. And I think that this does have a lot to do with the things that make you feel more creative with this artist card. So I would say that's probably the most prevalent. Yeah, a little bit. You're kind of being ready for filled a bit. Welcome to the Q or chat, guys. Hi, Maria. Hi, Luke. Hi, Anj. Hi, Foxy. Welcome. Or Ari. Sorry. And Kay. Hey, welcome, guys. So I feel like this is basically saying, like, just record a video and post it. But also try not to distract yourself with new things. I would say pick one or two, maybe three, depending on how laborious they are. Pick one, two, or three things, and pick a date that you want to have them complete by, if you're someone that responds to dates or deadlines, and and then create a plan to execute them. Oh yeah, definitely didn't feel about your job. This feels more, especially with that artist card. Yeah, you need to just do it. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. Bronwyn, go ahead and put your question in the chat. I watch a lot of videos about how to improve YouTube and stuff like that. Improve on YouTube, I should say. And a lot of times they talk about how they'll go to like these really big YouTubers and like look at their first videos versus like their videos today. And they're like a whole 180-degree difference. And it's about each video doing something a little different, a little better, putting a little bit more of yourself into it, or putting a cool flair in editing, or maybe a better graphic or something like that. Because the first ones are always horrible. I mean, I don't want to say horrible, but they're never as good as the next one. All right, Bronwyn, let's see what outcome you'll get for applying for jobs in a different field. And you have for the last 15 years. That must be scary. Big changes all around. Let's see. You can call me Cosmic. You can call me Brit. It doesn't phase me one way or another. I know you're talking about me. Or talking to me, rather. Let's see. Last card. Here we go. All right. I forgot how hard these cards are to read under my light. We have the World, we have the Ten of Cups, and then we have the Seven of Swords in reverse. I think ultimately you will actually have a lot of achievement in this. You'll do pretty well in regards to this like career switch or jobs transition, whatever you want to call it. Um I will say that I guess I'll start with the Seven of Swords in reverse and then kind of talk back from there because even this is actually not bad. So while you're applying for this, I'm sure that, applying for different fields is always a little bit different. So you might kind of come across the unexpected, but comparatively to the other cards around it, I think maybe in a good way. I wonder if maybe this means you'll accidentally discover something even different from what you've been applying for, or a job that you weren't quite expecting to hear back from. But I think that you have a little bit of a fun surprise coming your way. So over here we have the world card. The world card is great. This is the card of accomplishment. This is really where you feel like you have achieved the things that you wanted to achieve. This is the end of the major arcana. So this is really that full completion fulfillment card. And then in the middle with the 10 of cups, I think that this career change might be something that is not only beneficial to you, but um beneficial to your family, and I think it'll be more emotionally fulfilling, and you can finally use whatever energy you had previously. When you're emotionally fulfilled in one aspect of your life, it kind of trickles into the other aspects of your life. I think that's what I see here, and ultimately with this 10 of cups being in the middle of your reading, I think that this is going to be um a core feeling for you, feeling really emotionally fulfilled. And I like, so the world card is the end of the major arcana, and then we have the 10, which is also like the end of a cycle as well. So I feel like this is saying you're happily ending the cycle in your previous career field and starting afresh, feeling like your cups are full emotionally, stepping into the next one. But you have a little happy surprise. And I don't know what that surprise is, but I think that you will be, it's just going to be like a little aha moment that might just bring you joy uh, going forward. So it might manifest as kind of discovering something slightly different than you were expecting, or maybe getting a job that you thought might have been out of reach. I feel like you're the only one, Bronwyn, who's ever said they're excited to apply to jobs. I hate applying to jobs. All right, Luke, go ahead, put your question. Good luck with your job search, though. Whoop! My fridge exploded. Let's try that again. There we go. Nice shuffle. Yeah, Bronwyn, you got this. All right, Luke, weekly message. We have the Nine of Swords. Whoops. Nine of Swords, the World, and the King of Wands in reverse. I feel like I've given you a similar message, but uh we have this world card in reverse, and I feel like this represents like your desires to want to achieve stuff, feel accomplished, want to end cycles and maybe start fresh, but you are kind of flanked by these harder emotions. The Nine of Swords is the high anxiety card. And I know we kind of already talked about some really high anxiety moments this week. And I think that they are taking precedence, unfortunately, and therefore outweighing some of the accomplishments that you might have experienced already or will experience, throughout the rest of the week. The King of Wands in reverse is he could be a bit of a hothead and kind of explosive. It's kind of like the Knight of Swords, except this king can be a little bit more rageful, whereas I feel like the Knight of Swords is a little more implosive. Uh, so a lot of this could mean like taking your stress out on people, or maybe taking your stress out on yourself in not so healthy ways. And the king can also be a little bit uh cerebral in kind of way, like you kind of overthink situations and you think yourself into a hole. And this king is kind of gonna burn himself into a hole, so be careful about letting those moments, those high anxiety moments, outshine the accomplishments, outshine the world, so to speak. um I feel like I have given you a similar message before, so it's kind of along those lines. It's just a reminder from your spiritual team on how you handle stress, that might not currently be the most healthy method for you right now. I know you both are like, well, I mean, he asked for it. Yeah, so Luke, I would say that ultimately, I know that you have these high stressor moments. Just be careful not to let those outshine the good that's going on, and be mindful how you manage those stressors and how you cope with them. Yeah, that's how I felt last week for sure. All right. So, oops, hold on. All right. Let's see. Let me read off who I have in the queue. If you don't hear your name, just make sure to use exclamation point join. Up now, I have Maria. So, Maria, go ahead and put your question in the queue. Followed by Maria, I have Anj, Ari, and Kay. Well, I hope you enjoyed your call out, Luke. Spiritual team got you by the throat at all times. Let's see. I am going to do this a little differently. I'll pull one card for the Capricorn, one card for you, and one card for the Cancer, and we'll see what happens. switching things up. Let's see. Card for T. Card for T. Card for Maria. Oh gosh. There we go. Let's see. Card for Maria. Card for Maria. And then card for the Cancer. Last card for the Cancer. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse for you. And then for the Capricorn, for T, we have Strength in reverse. And then for the guy right now, we have the Lovers. I would say right off the bat, oof, gosh, my water bottle is leaking. That's not good. I would say right off the bat, uh, the guy you're talking to now, the Cancer, it seems like the better bet. I think though that there's some stuff that you have to do on your own separate of these guys. But we'll kind of talk about that. I'll just kind of go in order of the guys and then we'll talk about you. So the Strength in reverse is saying that there's kind of a blockage when it comes to tapping into that strength. It's like a lack of being able to commit to the things that you should probably be committing to for lack of strength to do the committing. So I feel like this person is going to be a little wishy-washy in the long run, ultimately not going to make any big moves and won't make those commitments going forward. Whereas here we have the Lovers card. So sometimes I don't like to read the Lovers literally, but in this regard, I do see this card literally. This is like the card of unionship and partnership. Um, the Lovers is the card of, you can take it literally. It's a card of love, attraction, and just ultimate relationships. So I feel like this guy, the Cancer, is the better option. But let's talk about you. Here you are represented by the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse is usually the queen that becomes too needy and overly dependent on others. So while this person might be a good fit, you have to make sure you are checking in with yourself and you are not being overly reliant on these guys for whatever it is that you need in your life right now, whether it just be companionship or emotional fulfillment or whatever it is. So the Queen upright, the Queen of Pentacles upright, can be a really generous and nurturing queen, can really like provide that love for other people as well. But in reverse, it's more so you're clinging on to it from others because you aren't able to provide it for yourself. So be careful about trying to manage that and like where that comes from and how you can feel that fulfillment internally by yourself without the need for that external validation from these options. So yeah, ultimately, long story short, I would say that the Cancer is the better option right now, but there is still some work that you will have to do for yourself. All right, Anj, go ahead and add your question to the chat. Welcome, Victoria. Kate, welcome to the queue. Bronwyn, 85 degrees is actually not bad. Like, we've been having weeks of like mid to high 90s. You're welcome, Maria. So honestly, and today it's been in the mid to sort of low 80s. So I've been very grateful for that. Yeah. I personally I like 75. I feel like 75 is the happy temperature. If there's a nice breeze and it's not like the sun is beaming down on you, I don't mind 80 to 85. But if it's like high humidity and the sun is blazing, then yeah, prefer prefer lower. All right, let's see what's going on with P. Come on, next card, next card. There we go. Last card. All right. So, yeah, I think he'll contact you. I think ultimately it's out of a sense of just morbid curiosity on how you're doing. So we have the Page of Wands, Two of Swords, and then the Queen of Cups. So I feel like in this reading, you are being represented by the Queen of Cups, and P is being represented by the Page, which is funny, P for Page. Um, and then the situation between you guys is kind of like the Two of Swords. This is like the energy that is between you guys. So pages tend to be the curious of the courts, and Page of Wands is just sort of like the how do I explain the Page of Wands? It's like be they just kind of had a spark of curiosity that happened. The Page of Wands is generally the more of the like creative page, tends to fall in or very susceptible to inspiration and following through with stuff like that, and they're a very active page as well. So I think that there's just a little bit of a morbid curiosity that's going on, and I don't think if there's something that you feel like there might be something between y'all or there might have been in the past with this Two of Swords, I feel like they are not at all aware that you are feeling any kind of way. um the Two of Swords could sometimes represent like some decisions being made, but if you notice, she is blindfolded here, sitting here. So in his head, I think that he is completely blindfolded or blinded to anything that's going on. And I think that they're reaching out to you because ultimately they feel like you have like this really nurturing, generous, soft side to you, and they're just curious about you. It feels very neutral in this regard. So nothing good, nothing bad. And I think it's just like kind of getting to know you, kind of figure out who you are, kind of thing. And the Queen of Cups is the compassionate queen out of the courts. So I think that P kind of feels that compassionate, mothering kind of energy, and just wants to probably reach out and see what that energy is about. Oh man, 72 degrees sounds amazing. Yeah, I Google it too. Ari, you are up next. So following Ari, I have Kay, Victoria, and Kate. You're welcome, Ange. It's funny too because when I was in school, I used to be really good with the conversion between metric and what do we use? Imperial. And for the life of me, I don't remember any of that now. Okay, you are my north neighbor. I'm in the DC area. Bronwyn, I want that nice sweater weather too because I love fall fashion. I love sweaters, boots. I love like leggings and knit dresses. I love jackets. Oh, I love jackets. I hope you didn't get hit by those storms last week, like too bad. Luckily, my area was fine, but my cousin's area, in not too far away, she's like 10, 15 minutes away. They had some big trees that got uprooted. Like it was crazy. I used to remember the um I used to remember Kelvin, the conversion to Kelvin too, but I don't remember that anymore either. Okay, go ahead and put your question in the chat. Yeah, Christine, my list is still open. Just use exclamation point join. I like spring and fall too. I don't mind summer because I like going to the beach, but like if I'm not at the beach, I'm miserable. I like winter too. I just don't like when it's like really like icy out, I guess. I don't mind snow. I don't mind the cold. It's just the ice. Um, okay, I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. If you have a different question, I can do that. I totally apologize. I don't even have an inkling of what that could mean, and I don't want to like do a reading on something that I have no familiarity with because I feel like it's unfair to you guys. You sound like my friends. They're like so over the snow, but I was so over the heat out in Texas, so I'll take the snow for a little bit. We also don't get snow regularly. So kind of like a spirit guide. I'll be honest. Yes, I would love if you could ask something else. I would have to do some research on that to see if that's something I could ever do. Christine, welcome to the queue. Hi, Anna. How are you doing? Thanks for understanding, Kay. Your name is making me want to watch Men in Black. Between your name and like TikTok showing me all the Men in Black stuff, I really want to watch Men in Black. All right, let's see. All right. Anna, put the exclamation point before the join. Let's see what your past life sister has to say to you, okay? Ooh, okay. Next card. And last card. We have the Sun, the Eight of Wands, and the Page of Cups. So I feel like your past life sister, your guardian angel, however you'd like for me to call her, um, is really just sending you a lot of just happy vibes. I feel like overall with the sun card. The sun card is really that card of growth and it's that card of life and happiness and joy. There's just this air of warmth that comes when you get the sun card. And then we have the 8 of wands, and I feel like this is saying, whatever things you were working on now, keep moving, keep changing, keep that forward momentum going. The 8 of wands suggests that there are a lot of changes happening, so you might want to prepare for those a little bit, but a lot of that I feel like is under your control, and she's just saying like, "Hey, you have control of these changes that are happening. Keep pushing, keep moving, keep allowing those changes to form and morph however they are going to." And all of this is leading to the Page of Cups here. And I like that I think as a community, we've been getting a lot of court cards, it seems, and pages and queens seem to be popping up a lot. The page, this is where I think the really soul of the message is coming through, is saying, be happy, allow these changes to happen. But at the core of it, um, allow that, like, the page is to me sometimes that like hopeless romantic card where you just enjoy love, and I don't mean it necessarily romantically, just how you walk through life. So this page really just enjoys finding the love and fulfillment in the things that are around them in life in general. They A lot of the pages are really creative in their own respect, and this one tends to be creative when it comes to finding that emotional fulfillment. So I think that, find that youthful energy, find those moments. And a lot of times with cups, it has that intuitive aspect as well. So, find that element where you can feel like you can be creative. Still allows you that flexibility to bring changes into your life, and still feel like you are pulling in those elements that will allow you to be emotionally fulfilled. And I think that overall, the major theme of this is to just find things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness and warmth, and just um, really make you feel like you can grow into whatever it is that you want to grow into, because that sun is really what helps us grow, right? Think of it as like the sun providing energy to plants to grow and sprout and bloom. And that's kind of how you should think of yourself, as like a little plant that is changing and being warmed by the sun and growing and blossoming and blooming into something um bigger and greater. And yeah, I think that ultimately this is kind of, if I were to summarize this into anything, I would say, like, keep doing what you're doing as long as it makes you happy and makes you feel fulfilled. And I think that's a really cool message. um I like that we're getting a lot of page cards too. And I do like the page represented in this too, because they are the messenger, so it's like you're getting that message in as well. Okay, guys, I am gonna close my queue. Everybody who's in it is in it. Up next, I have Victoria. So go ahead, put your question in the chat. And yes, thank you guys. Uh, don't forget to like this video. It helps a lot with the algorithm. So up now we have Victoria. Followed by her, we have Kate, Christine, Theo, Kushi, Anna, and then Ari. Yeah, you're welcome, Kay. Let me get a quick drink break. All right, Victoria, if you are in the chat, go ahead and add your question. All right, let's move on. Kate, go ahead, add your question to the chat. Oh, oops. This thing down here that used to be my old tip jar. You could technically still use it. It is coins, not popcorn. That's funny. Let's see. I'm gonna ask this a little differently. I'm just gonna see what you need to know about your senior year of college. Okay, Kate? I love this moon card. It's so beautiful. Look who is back. The Page of Cups. Gotta love them. Okay, we have the Moon card, the Page of Cups, and then the Four of Cups in reverse. So ultimately, I don't think you have anything to worry about outside of like normal. Got to worry about midterms, finals, general exams, that kind of thing, projects, whatever, what have you be. But I mentioned in the previous reading how the Page of Cups is the kind of hopeless romantic card, right? So I think this is saying to enjoy your senior year. Don't like over enjoy it, but just know that this is the final step before you are like, for most people generally, but this is the final step of like what I would call default education, where you are finally taking that step into what I would call the adult world, even though you're obviously an adult and blah, blah, blah. It's just saying that this is your last year of school, last time hanging out with friends in this environment. So enjoy it. Take those times to um, enjoy your friends' company. Take that time to just relish in the moment. The moon card is interesting because this card suggests that maybe there will be a little bit of confusion your senior year. I don't think that it's necessarily bad in the sense that things are awry. I think it's more so confusion on what the next steps are going to be. And the reason I kind of feel that way is because that we have this Four of Cups in reverse here, and the Four of Cups in reverse is saying like you're kind of starting to recognize after a period of stillness, I would say, reflection, maybe even, you're starting to realize what it is that makes you happy, that when you look forward to the future. So this moon card is suggesting that as you go into your senior year, you might struggle a little bit in determining that. You might feel a little lost, like you don't quite have that path illuminated for you yet as you start the year. But as you focus on things that make you happy throughout the year, I think that this will start to come to light. You'll start to recognize the stuff that you want to do going forward, how you want your life to look like, and you'll have some actual things that you could set as your goals going forward. So I would say overall, you don't have anything crazy to worry about, nothing out of the ordinary. It feels like general college stuff to me. So this is kind of like um it feels very much like a can't think of the word or the turn of phrase, but it feels very run of the mill with how a normal senior year goes, worrying about what things will look like after you graduate and what really makes you happy, what you should apply for, what will your career look like, stuff like that. How will you manage your friend circle outside of school? Um, so I wouldn't worry too much. I would focus on enjoying your year, and understand that this moon card, this moon energy of feeling a little like you are wandering aimlessly a bit, will eventually go away. You will figure something out. So just don't be too hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Be patient, and let it come when it comes. Oh my gosh, my chat did not scroll. Bronwyn, now I'm very curious what your question could possibly be. You're welcome, Kate. All right, Christine, you are up next, followed by Christina, Theo, Kushi, Anna, and Ari. Good luck with college. That's exciting. All right, let's see what's going on with Steven. All right, first card. Let's see here. We are getting the world a lot. I think this is the third time I've pulled it. Last card. Oh, and the Lovers pops up again. Okay. I'm gonna have to give this deck a nice shuffle after this. So we have the World card, we have Temperance in reverse, and we have the Lovers. You have all major arcana here. Sorry, let me mute this. You have all major arcana here. So I feel like ultimately, I don't know necessarily what you mean by soul tie, Christine, but I will say that this person has a very much so. I thought I muted this. What is like? I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. These notifications are fucking killing me. All right. So where was I? Okay, so I think that with the World card upright and the Lovers card upright, this is definitely someone who is going to have a long-standing impact in your life. I will say with the Lovers card, there is that hint that you have control over whether that happens or not, but they are going to be someone that whether you keep them in your life for a long time or they just influence your life for a long time, that's where this energy is going. But here in the middle we have the Temperance card in reverse. This is where I see a lot of that. You mentioned you want to know if he's blocking your energy. I think there are elements of both things happening right now. So this is someone who is really long standing, has a really big impact in your life, um, but they are not necessarily bringing your life balance. So temperance card is the it's the card that really suggests that you, while you're trying to walk the middle ground, trying to bring balance in, that's just not happening. um there's a lot of just conflict and disharmony. And I think that this suggests to me, I guess if I were to summarize this, this seems to be a very hot and cold dynamic, where at some aspects we have this world card where you feel like, you know, there's this air of feeling like you have accomplished something together. We have the lover's card where you feel like you have this really nice relationship, but then at the heart of it, you feel like ultimately it's not bringing you the balance that you actually need. So I would say that I don't know that I would say that this person is scared of you. Considering you got three major arcana cards for a three-card reading, I would definitely say this is something you might want to get like a more in-depth reading on. With this world card here, there's a lot of dynamics that I feel like are happening. There's that element that, like I said, kind of hot and cold, right? There's one side that feels very much like, oh, I've accomplished this. This feels very fulfilling. And then the other side feels like, oh, I need to end this cycle. And then the lovers also has a little bit of that dichotomy where you feel like, oh, we're in this like relationship and we have this unionship and partnership. But then it also makes you feel like you question things because you feel like you have to decide on whether this relationship is right or wrong. And at the core of it, you know that it's not serving in the way that it should be serving. Yeah. And I feel like that's so I guess I'll ask what you necessarily mean about soul ties. I don't know if you necessarily mean that to mean like a soul mate or a twin flame kind of thing. I will caveat, like, I generally will caveat about twin flames that people don't necessarily take their meaning to be what it should. So I will say I don't like to give twin flame readings, but that's a lot of that energy that I feel like I'm getting from this. And usually those relationships turn out to be somewhat toxic in a way because um a lot of times it's about connecting in order to, you're seeing yourself mirrored back to you, and you're given that opportunity to see that mirror because then you can learn and grow and you learn whatever lesson it is that you're being faced with. I will say that soulmate connections don't necessarily have to be as impactful, but they can be just as they can be similar. So I'll say this person probably isn't the best long term, but it is someone who will have a big influence on your life currently and going forward. With all of these major arcana cards, this is something that's going to be very impactful for you in the long run, whether you guys get serious or not. Yeah, so mm, if you're feeling it's more of a like soulmate thing, not as intense as a like twin flame thing, then I would say maybe it's time to just accept that, it's not serving what it's supposed to be serving, and just and just go on to the next thing. You're welcome. Theo, go ahead, put your question in the chat. Yeah, I always like to caveat, when I do my readings, that I know a lot of people get readings on soulmates and twin flames, and I just don't want people to think that I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be like those TikTok readers. All right, let me get a nice shuffle going. There we go. Okay, what does Nico truly feel about Theo? Oh, shoot. Said time of night where I get butterfingers. All right, Nico's feelings. Next card. There we go. One more card. Two of Swords is back. Okay, so we have two pages here. We have the Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, both in reverse, and then the Two of Swords. So, I don't think this person has any definitive feelings for you yet. I'll work my way back. The Two of Swords is kind of at a crossroads here where they're not sure. They have not finalized and formulated an official decision. Still very much in their heads about this. So you mentioned that you're Gemini. Gemini is what? Air sign, and then okay, so doesn't seem to matter in this regard. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. I think that this person has some other things going on in their life that outweigh their need to think about you or feel anything about you. Page of Pentacles in reverse suggests a lot of instability financially, dealing with usually this is like maybe mismanagement of money. They maybe were being a little immature and lost a job. But whatever that event was, it has resulted in feeling financially unstable. And then here we have the Page of Cups, who has made a reappearance and is now in reverse. So the Page of Cups I mentioned previously is a really creative page who likes to create things that make them happy, but in reverse there's very little desire to do that. So if you're something new in this person's life, in Nico's life, then right now they don't have the bandwidth to think about it, honestly. I feel like with these two pages in reverse, there's like this element of burnt out, feeling a little beat down by the world, and also maybe responding a little immaturely about it. So that way, that's where this Two of Swords comes into play. They're not really making smart decisions or making any decisions right now, and have reached a point of like stagnancy. So Pentacles, Cups, very like there is movement in the Cups, but it's slow, and Pentacles are very rooted, so there's not a lot of movement happening here. So everything that's going on is in their head with this Two of Swords, which I guess is where the Gemini thing comes in. But I would say that right now they got to go through whatever they're going to go through. If you're a friend, maybe be there for them. If you just kind of like, if this person is just someone you're curious about, then let them go through what they're going to go through and revisit in the future when they have the emotional capacity to deal with it. All right, Kushi, go ahead, put your question in the chat. I have two more left in the queue afterwards. I have Anna and Ari. And guys, don't forget to like this video. It helps with the algorithm. You're welcome, Theo. Good luck. Thanks for hanging out. Kushi, you just want like the energy over the next 4 or 5 days? I'm not sure what you mean by that. All right, I'm gonna just do the energy over the next 5 days. All right, everything is reversed. I'm gonna flip these upright. So we have the Six of Swords, the Knight of Wands, and then the Three of Wands. So I will say that I'll just go in order. So we have the Six of Wands. I think over the next few days that you're gonna have to work on moving on from past baggage, or baggage that you're holding on to, things that are either weighing you down mentally. I will say actually weighing you down mentally, things that have been on your mind a lot and have not been allowing room for better, brighter things. Um, the Six of Swords is about needing to heal and move on from those things. The Knight of Wands is nice because I like that you have some wands over here with the air energy. So it's very fueling and very complementary. We have the Knight of Wands he's the ambitious knight. He has goals, he has desires, and pushes towards them. So if these things that have been weighing on you have been keeping you from going forward over the next few days, you really need to start letting those go and driving forward, finally starting to get that forward momentum going. That means pushing towards your goals, being a little more creative if you haven't been recently, whatever it is that you're passionate about. And then the Three of Wands is about growth and expansion. This can also represent travel. So you might have some chances to go exploring, do some like local adventures perhaps over the next few days. But this is about feeling like you're finally making progress. So if you've been in a state where you've been feeling really stagnant for a while, just kind of like been on the same cycle over and over, the next few days is really gonna start to feel like you're off the hamster wheel and you're finally starting to make some progress. The Three of Wands does invite you to look forward though. So while these changes are happening this week, perhaps this is also a sign that you should start to look forward, make plans for what you want things to look like down the line. And with this knight here in the center of your reading, discern what it is you need to do in order to reach those goals. Because remember that knight is very ambitious. So if you feel like you have not been tapped into your ambition, now is going to be the time to do that. What else do we have here? I will say too that there's also a little bit of a hint of some new opportunities coming your way with this Three of Wands. I would say maybe new opportunities in terms of uh mm, more creative opportunities where you can feel like so not necessarily, it could manifest as something creative at work or school or at home, but it doesn't have to be just that one thing. It could just be overall you're starting to feel like you are more creative, you're starting to find inspiration in things, whereas before you really didn't. You just kind of lived in this blank state for a little bit. But now that you're putting that behind you, you can move forward finally. With with these two wands here, wands have a lot of active energy. So I feel like there are going to be a lot of those changes. You'll start to feel that energy throughout this I would say next, like you said, next few days, next 5 days or so. Yeah, that's kind of all I got for this one. All right, Anna, go ahead, put your question. Thank you guys for being so patient at the end of the queue, guys. You're welcome. Steph, what do you mean at any time? I'm really digging this deck. I'm happy I pulled it out. I think I'll take it with me this weekend. I don't know if I'll get the chance to do my actual like monthly challenge on Saturday and Sunday because I have another dodgeball tournament, but I'm gonna try. Oh, but guys, if you want to do some fun tarot stuff, like if you're learning tarot and you want to do something a little more creative, I'll be hosting a create your own tarot adventure on Discord tomorrow evening. So Friday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Oh. Yes, I did. No, Luke, you don't have a choice. You have to do your challenge. All right, Ari, go ahead, put your question in the chat. I will be finishing up with you. Thank you, Steph. I beat you to the Discord, shameless Discord plug. Healing Love, my queue is closed for the night. I'll be back next Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That way I can get off of here and finish watching Good Omens Season 2. It's so good. Yep. Sorry, Healing Love. So, Ari, this is a weird question because don't you have your own style? Why would it change? Ooh, thank you, Bronwyn. And you don't have to be a tarot expert to join. We'll like talk through everything. It'll be super fun and I feel like a low pressure way to learn the cards. Okay. We'll see what kind of vibes will be going on after you move to California, or if you move to California. This kind of reminds me of that song from Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt where Titus did the Boobs in California song. It's really funny. You guys should look it up if you've never heard it. Ooh, Knight of Wands has made a reappearance. And last card. So we have these are so hard to read under these lights. 8 of Wands in reverse, Knight of Wands, and then the Page of Cups. I think the Page of Cups, I should go back and keep a tally. Page of Cups has been the most bold card for the night, followed by, I think, the World card. I think at the core of things that California will. So with this night, I'm going to start in the middle and then work my way out. So with the Knight of Wands, in the middle of this reading here. I think that you are going to try to make a lot of fast and furious changes. Um, I think you're going to be overly not ambitious, enthusiastic, looking forward to that adventure of something new. But I don't think with this Eight of Wands you'll settle on anything. So I feel like you will try a lot of things, but I don't know that you'll necessarily find yourself. Um, the the Eight of Wands in reverse. I really wish this was upright because I feel like this really changes the whole feel of this reading. So the Eight of Wands suggests this stagnancy, and I feel like it's more of a stuckness. Um, that does not match with the desires of the knight. So there's going to be a lot of conflicting ideals that are happening, which is where I get that vibe that you're going to be on this little cycle of switching identities, but none of them are truly you. Um, I don't know what it will be about California, though, that just does not bring out the creative side of yourself. I don't know what's going to cause this, but the Eight of Wands compounded with the Page of Cups feels very much like you are going to be stifled there. Um, there's there's no pentacles in this reading, but I'm just kind of throwing my own 2 cents in here. California is very expensive. So I have to assume that that is going to be the focus of everything. So while you're trying to ambitiously recreate yourself, you're not going to have the funds to do it. So instead, you kind of do these like half changes that never feel right, and you end up just kind of never truly finding yourself because of that. Um, but yeah, I think that with these two reversals, there's going to be a lot of blockages that are going to keep you from being able to do that long term. It's interesting because you don't have pentacles here, so I feel like with the lack of pentacles, there's a lack of stability that's going on. Yeah, uh, in California, so this might be the sorry to anybody on the West Coast in advance, but this might be the East Coast in me. The West Coast is very fake. So that's probably why I'm getting a lot of this vibe. It's expensive, it's superficial, there's really nothing about it that incentivizes one to be an individual and find themselves. It's more so you join the herd and assimilate. I mean, it might be. I mean, I could be wrong. Just a girl slinging cards on the internet for fun on a Thursday night. Yeah, cause I've been to California a few times. I've been to the West Coast of even more few times, and it just feels very superficial. Like people are fine there, but it just feels soulless, I guess. I enjoyed the beach. Don't get me wrong. I'm a beach bum, so I enjoyed that. But the people. Sorry, anybody from the West Coast listening. Yeah, I would say visit a few times, Ari, and see what it's like. Like if you've never been, you might get a different vibe after going. Um, thank you, Steph. East Coast all the way. There's a meme that I saw, or something that I read, where it's saying how like the West Coast is nice but not kind, and the East Coast is kind but not nice, and that's so true. It's so true, because if you've ever like interacted with like a New Yorker, they will literally curse you out while helping you. Ugh, goodness. Yeah, Bronwyn, go ahead and put your question. I'm gonna go ahead and put my oracle cards away. Mm, I don't see it on my end. Sometimes Restream will filter things out. Yeah, I only see where you said, oops, did not mean to send that. So maybe you didn't send it. Oh, Luke, you see the question? I don't see it. Yeah, Anna, I'll be here next Friday. Or you can join my Discord. I want to start doing some free readings on there. And just sign up for alerts. That way you can you'll know when I'm doing some live readings, or free readings, I should say, rather. Yes, do what Steph says, or she's going to keep screaming in the chat. Yeah, Bronwyn, that's weird. I definitely don't see. Mm. Hmm. That's so weird. I see. Let me check YouTube. I wonder if it's filtering stuff for some reason. Gotta love technology. Yeah, that's weird, Bronwyn. I don't see it. But since you joined the Discord, why don't you every once in a while YouTube does this, and I don't know why. Because usually I'll get like an alert if something is filtered out, or if wait, let me see. No, like I'll get an alert if something's grayed out or filtered out or something like that. And usually a life full of simplicity, she'll see it. Yeah, maybe send it in two parts. YouTube is weird sometimes. Sometimes they just decide to be a butt. I know, for real, Steph. Like YouTube just decides that some comments will never see the light of day. Won't even see like see it in the back end. It could be a character limit. I will say, Bronwyn, if you can't get it to work, oh yeah, 200 is a lot though. If you can't get it to work, come over to Discord. I'll be on. We can do it over there. Because I don't know what's going on with YouTube. If I could figure it out, I could probably retire today. it it shouldn't be, because Sil and I have done our live streams and we talk about decks, and people will put decks and stuff in the chat, and even then it should show up on the back end as having been either auto deleted or grayed out or filtered or something. So I'm gonna blame the ghost in the machine. It's the Matrix. So but since you joined us on Discord, let's hang out there. That way I can get off live and get my jammies, and I also need to pack for this weekend, which I have not done. Oh, go I'm curious about that. Go post some photos for us to see. But meanwhile, I'm gonna get off of here. So if you guys want to hang out and chat with me like off of live, you can join me over on Discord for the rest of the night. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining. Sorry for like dipping. Just trying to get up so I can stretch. All right. Bye, guys.